Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Counselor Advocacy for Jewish University Experience Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a fair that will feature 6 colleges, each presenting for 6 minutes. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen at any point to type questions to our presenters. Your camera and microphone are off, so our panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so please be sure to sign up for more. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/Jewish Student Fair. And with that, I'll turn it over to our first presenter, University of Delaware.
So hello, everybody. Laura Travis, admissions counselor at University of Delaware. I'm going to give you an overview today, and then Hillary Jampel, our assistant director for Hillel, will join us to talk about Jewish life on campus, and I'll rejoin you then to wrap things up. So University of Delaware is a mid-sized university, about 18,000 undergraduates, and you can see we're located halfway between New York City and Washington, D.C. on the East Coast. Campus, you can see a picture in the bottom middle of your screen, is a suburban setting. It's a walkable campus, a lot of green space with mature trees, brick buildings, brick sidewalks, and Main Street runs directly through campus. So 70 different stores and restaurants through Main Street. There is going to be a lot to do on campus. And Delaware's the kind of school that we're big enough where you'll find a lot of academic resources to help you thrive. And there'll also be social resources to get you connected. But we're also small enough that we've got this strong sense of community with a ton of pride. You'll find 150 majors to choose from. And if you want to learn more, you can use the Major Finder tool on our website. There's also 100 minors and 50 4+1 programs to consider at Delaware. Enrichment opportunities are bountiful. 3 of those are listed here. We also are a Tier 1 research university, so you can get involved in that as early as your freshman year. Study abroad, wildly popular. Many students study abroad over winter session. For us, it's 5.5 weeks in January. Now, if you're not studying abroad over winter session, you can take extra courses, which would allow you to double major. You could minor, double, or even triple minor and still graduate in 4 years. And here's Hillary for more about Jewish life.
Thank you so much, Laura. So about 13% of the UD students identify as Jewish, which, as Laura said, it makes a really nice community. It means that you have plenty of opportunities to engage with other Jewish students, and yet everybody isn't stepping on each other's toes. We have about 1/3 of our students identify as Reform, about 1/3 as conservative, and about 1/3 as culturally Jewish. We have a ton of opportunities happening for Jewish students on campus, starting off with freshman programming. This picture is actually from our Freshman Fest. We welcome about 150 to 200 Jewish students early during their freshman year, where you're moving in, you're meeting other students, and it's run by upperclassmen who are helping you to adjust the university. And that then moves into our Impact Fellowship, where you will meet every week throughout your fall semester with upperclassmen who are helping you adjust while you're meeting other freshmen as well. We have a large social justice and wellness community within UD Hillel. We have a Hall for Hunger chapter, matzo ball soup hotline, a sustainability club, and a wellness committee. We have a strong pro-Israel community on campus that does a lot of work to keep strong relationships with the university. At this point, we have not had BDS on campus. We are not expecting it in the next year as well. And that is really due to our Blue Hens for Israel Club, as well as many of our other efforts to work with the university. We have our Yom Ha'atzmaut party out on campus, 300+ students coming at a student center, and we have fortunately never had an anti-Israel incident at that party. We have one of the largest birthright programs in the entire country Last winter, we actually sent more students on Birthright than any other school in the country. It's a great opportunity over winter session, and we actually have a study abroad component of it. So you can study abroad in Israel through Birthright, and we're the only school in the country who does that. Shabbat and holidays, we have a free Shabbat dinner, holiday dinners at Hillel. We average about 150 students who come for dinners. We have services as well every Friday night, Reform and Conservative, for the high holidays, all different opportunities, seders, kosher for Passover meals, all of that. University also has kosher dining. What is really nice about it, it's in the most popular and largest dining hall, and you do not pay any extra money for it. It is part of your regular meal plan. We have about 200 students on average every year who have formal leadership roles with our Hillel. And if we always say to students, if there isn't an opportunity already, we'll help you create one. And finally, what we hear most of the time from students is that Hillel is really a home away from home from them on campus. It's a place where there's a listening ear, there's free food, there's friends, and there's all sorts of resources. And with that, I'm going to pass things back to Laura.
Thanks, Hillary. So if you're interested in applying, applications open August 1st. We do have early action opportunity, meaning if you complete by November 1st, you'll hear back by January 31st, and it's non-binding, so you keep all your options open. But if you can't make that, January 15th is our regular admission priority. So as long as you complete by then, you'll be considered for merit aid. About 95% of our recent graduates are either employed or pursuing further education within 6 months. And we're top 20 in the country for graduating our students within 4 years. So students are earning their degrees on time and using those degrees within 6 months. You're welcome to come visit. Self-guided tours are being offered starting June 1st through the end of August. Just go on our Visit Us webpage to sign up. And good luck with your college search.
Thank you so much. Our next presenter is Florida Atlantic University.
Hi, everyone. I am Renee Hamer with Florida Atlantic University, and I am here with my colleague Adam Collette from Hillel. So he'll be talking to you about Jewish opportunities on campus, and I'll cover the admission side of things. So I am sharing my screen with you all, and we will go ahead and get started. So if you aren't familiar with FAU, I did put this up here because we are limited today. So be sure and follow us on social media. So that way you have opportunities to find out more information about events and things like that in the admission office. So at FAU, we are located in South Florida. So we are about 45 minutes north of Miami. We're in Boca Raton, Florida. We're about 30 minutes south of West Palm Beach, 30 minutes north of Fort Lauderdale. So a lot happening down here in South Florida. And we do have over 170 degree opportunities on campus. So whether you are interested in the humanities or a STEM related major, there are opportunities for you on campus. We are a research institution. You are not required to do research on campus, but there are tons of opportunities for you to partake in research. Again, it doesn't matter if you are interested in the arts or you're interested in STEM, there is research all across the board for all of our students and their academic interests. And we do have internships as well. So within those internship opportunities and research opportunities, you are able to put those on your resume in order to make yourself marketable for your career. Here at FAU as well, of course, the number one thing that we are focused on are your academics and your career. So we do have a large, this was on one of the other slides, we have a large alumni population. So they work with you for not only networking, but also working with you to make sure perhaps it's an internship or even research. So those connections are really strong with our current students and alumni. And we do have a graduate school on campus. So a lot of our students make that transition very smoothly from their undergraduate to their graduate degree, if that's what they're looking for. And oftentimes it is in a little less time too, because it's at the same university. So a little bit about the application process. So at FAU, we do have 2 different ways that you can apply, and you only want to apply one of those ways, either through the Common App or through our application online. And if you are a rising senior, you can begin applying August 1st of this year. So the application will be available to you then, and it's very simple. So you're going to complete the application, and then you're going to submit a $30 application fee. We don't issue fee waivers from FAU specifically, but we do take fee waivers from Common App, NACAT, College Board, and ACT. So definitely check with your guidance counselor if you're unsure if you're on track for one of those, because we will accept those. And then number 2 is submit your self-reported academic record. So this is essentially you taking your high school transcript and self-reporting that information to us. So that's going to allow you the opportunity to self-report that information, and that is the fastest way for us to review your application. And then submitting your test scores. We don't prefer SAT over ACT, but we still do require a test score in order for the application process to move forward. Once we have all of these items, within about 3 to 4 weeks, you're notified of an admission decision. You can always resubmit information to get reevaluated for maybe a particular term or something like that at FAU. Speaking of our different terms, we do have 2 different entry terms at FAU, and we have fall and summer, and you can see the qualifications there. And this is also on our website for your reference as well, fau.edu. Just a little snapshot, our fall is our most competitive term. So if you don't meet the requirements for fall, but you meet the requirements for summer, we will accept you for that summer term. And then we have a couple different pathway programs as well. So you can see more there on our links, but several different opportunities for admission to FAU. And we are a very affordable institution. So these are just some highlights. Definitely take down that Raise Me information. You probably are familiar with the FAFSA. If not, you can find out more information there. But we encourage you to check out all of these different avenues to make your financial aid journey affordable and your college journey in general. Student life, tons of opportunities on campus for you to have fun outside of your academics. So this is just a snapshot, but today specifically, we are going to talk about Hillel, and I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Adam to talk to you a little bit more about that.
Thanks so much, Renee. And well, you know, everyone comes to South Florida and Boca especially to visit their bubby, but that is not the only thing going on. Renee, you can share our video and I might talk over it a little bit, but I just think it's so important that you hear a little bit from our student leaders. We really do focus on our Jewish students. Boca is such a great place to be involved in Jewish campus life as well as in the general community. And I think my team does a better job.
My name's Carly Collins, and I'm the social VP here at FAU Hillel. After a year of celebrating our Shabbats together by doing Shabbat meal pickups in our Zoom services, I think it's about time that we came together and celebrated properly. That being said, I would like to invite you to Hillel of Broad and Palm Beach's final Shabbat of the year. But this year, it's gonna be looking a little different.
Final Shabbat is Hillel's end-of-year banquet where we not only celebrate Shabbat, but we also reflect on the year. This year, we are taking a brand new spin on Final Shabbat with a drive-through followed by a Zoom ceremony.
The Final Shabbat drive-through will take place on April 23rd from 12 to 2. You have to sign up using our registration link, which can be found in our Instagram bio at FAU Hillel.
The drive-thru will consist of 5 different stops, which will include hanging out, schmoozing, playing games, and of course, exclusive Hillel merch.
The point of this drive-thru is to make sure we are as careful as possible when it comes to COVID. So please know we are taking every precaution.
All right, Renee, I think you can.
That being said,
I just wanted everybody to get a chance to see how our students engage and the size of our team and the complexity of what we're trying to do. Israel is huge for us and on campus and for our community. We build leaders and we take students to the next level, and we also just have a great time socially as well. So lots and lots of opportunities for students on campus. Really happy to answer any questions that you might have.
You should be able to take over the screen.
I'm all set. I wasn't sure if you want me to go ahead and get started. So I'll just go ahead. Hi, everyone. My name is Irina. I am an assistant director of admissions at Hunter College. Hunter College is part of the City University of New York family, and we're located smack down in the middle of Manhattan. I think it's important to understand sort of who we are as an institution and being part of that overall CUNY family, especially given sort of the list of schools that are in this session today with me. So City University of New York is a family of about 24 different colleges. We're all located within the 5 boroughs of New York City. So being part of City University of New York, you're part of a 1 million student body family. But they all go to different schools, all 24 different campuses. There are 2-year colleges, that are 4-year colleges within this family. And Hunter is the biggest 4-year institution within this network of colleges. So the reason I want to make sure to kind of frame this conversation is because Hunter is we're a big public institution located in the middle of the city, and being sort of in the middle of the city has a lot of really cool perks, but you definitely want to make sure you understand that being part of the CUNY family comes with sort of triple the amount of perks. And that's where I want to make sure to kind of frame it. When you're applying to Hunter, you would be applying to City University of New York with Hunter as one of the choices. So that's something to keep in the back of your head when you're ready to apply to colleges. Now, let's talk a little bit about the basics. Hunter is located on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. We have about 70 different majors at Hunter, everything and anything you can imagine. About 150 years ago, we started out as a school for teachers. So 150 years ago, it was just College of Education. In those 150 years, we've grown. We have 70 different majors, endless combination of minors. And the coolest thing about our curriculum is that our students actually do sort of a combined version of what it is they want to do. So they can have one major, 3 minors. They can have 2 majors, 1 minor. And oftentimes those majors and minor combinations don't have to be related in any sort of way. And that is really what makes Hunter curriculum unique, I think. I will never admit to this to you in public if we ever meet on the street of New York City, but I will say that I graduated with a degree in physics with a minor in education and a minor in dance. Why, you would ask? I have no idea, but I needed something, I wanted to study all those things, and it kind of worked for me, and Hunter allowed me to do that, which is the coolest thing. Now, outside of the undergraduate programs, Hunter offers master's programs, and we have doctoral programs as well. But this is where also the coolest thing that comes with being part of CUNY. If you are at Hunter and if you find a class that's offered at any other CUNY institution, but you're a Hunter student, you can still take that class. So the class options for you are really endless. You can take classes within any of the schools in New York City, within the CUNY schools, of course, which makes it kind of a really cool experience. You get to meet friends, not just at Hunter, but also at other CUNY institutions. Now, location is definitely something that I think is almost self-explanatory. Being in New York City really defines who we are as an institution. Our students come from 47 different states, from 136 different countries. We speak over 152 languages on campus. So our student body is really, really diverse student body. And being in New York City gives you access to sort of that diversity trifold, really. A lot of really cool things happen because we have such a diverse student body. So we have a ton of different clubs on campus. There's about 100 plus cultural clubs. So we have things like Black Student Union, Hillel, we have Asian Student Association. We also have about 100 clubs that are just interest-based clubs, the K-pop crew. We have a ham and cheese club. They ham and cheese things out, get it? They're the debate team. We have Dumbledore's Army. And again, going back to this location, the Dumbledore's Army Club, we don't have like a quad like most places would because we're located in the middle of Manhattan, but we are 3 blocks away from Central Park. So it is the funniest thing in the world when you walk out to lunch and you see some of our students in capes that say Hunter in the back, running around on brooms, playing Quidditch in Central Park. It's a surreal experience, but again, that's sort of what defines us, the location and the diverse interest of our students. Outside of cultural clubs and sort of interest-based clubs, we also have a ton of academic support and academic clubs at Hunter. So we have a pre-dental student association. There's a pre-health program for students who are interested in med schools, dental schools, law schools, next big thing you want to do type of schools. And there's a lot of support that happens at Hunter for students who have that diverse pool of interests. So again, you could be a physics major and still be on the pre-med track with a dense minor if that's what you choose to do. Outside of just sort of general student life, we also offer 4 different residence halls at Hunter. So being in the heart of New York City, turf is really hard to come by, right? Housing is tough. Our 4 residence halls house about 1,000 students on campus. They're all about 10 to 15 minutes away from the actual main campus. And the cool thing is that students who are residents get to be in New York City. So if you've ever dreamed of being a New Yorker for a little bit, having the option to do that while you are college students and kind of in the safety of a residence hall is a huge, huge thing. There's public safety, there's support for you. There are RAs who are going to help you get to know the city a little bit. There's even a how to not burn popcorn 101 type of workshop when you get to college and you decide to live in the residence halls. So there's a ton of different things that happen. Specifically within our Jewish community, I think it's cool to know that we have a Jewish studies program on campus, which could be studied as a minor, should you decide to have that part of your overall curriculum. We also have Hillel on campus. That's part of our multicultural center. And being part of multicultural center means that all of the different religious organizations are sort of in one big, again, family and one big suite where while they all host different events that are specific to their students and their interests, there's also a ton of different opportunities for them to come together and involve bigger community. So for example, we have a Muslim student union, we have Hillel, and we have a Christian fellowship. Those 3 organizations every single year do a lot of fundraising and at the end donate funds to organizations that matter to them. So last but not least, being part of New York City and being at Hunter doesn't mean you're just staying there. We have 47 different study abroad programs, including Israel, including all of the Europe, Australia, and a few other places that may be interesting to you. And I'm proud to say that I work for a public institution. Our tuition at Hunter is under $7,000 for the entire year for New York State residents and about twice that for the year for out-of-state students. So if you have an interest or if you have any questions, check out the website and you can ask some of our students about their experiences directly. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much. Our next presenter is Goucher College.
Hello, everyone. I am unmuted now. My name is Marvin Barahona, and I work for Goucher College. We are a small private liberal arts university located in Baltimore, Maryland. Technically, we're in the Towson city limits. We're not too far away from Baltimore, though. We're about a 10-minute drive from the city limits. As you can see, we're in a great location on the East Coast. As I said, 10 minutes away from Baltimore, an hour away from Washington, D.C., hour and a half away from Philadelphia, and about 3.5 hours away from New York City. So, of course, all of these great cities at your disposal. Towson is a really neat college town because we have Towson University alongside with us. So a lot of the businesses in the area are catered towards college students. So never a dull moment over in Goucher or in Towson. As I said, we are a private residential liberal arts college. Liberal arts college means different things for different folks. I always like telling our students that we like to offer our students a variety of different skill sets through your classes instead of just focusing on 1 or 2 key areas or just focusing on your major. So if you're interested in liberal arts education, definitely check us out. As I said, we are small. We have just over 1,100 students doing their bachelor's degree, over 900 students doing graduate programs. So if you want to get your master's here, you want to get a certification here, you can certainly do that. Because we are a small university, we offer smaller class sizes. Class averages are about 12 to 15, and those are for like your introductory courses. I've never heard of a student being in a class of more than 30, which is kind of like your average high school class size if you go to a public school. So definitely smaller class sizes allows you to get to know your professors, get to know your classmates, and really engage in classes. So you won't be sitting in lecture halls here at Goucher, which I think is pretty great. A little bit of demographic information. 47% of our students come from Maryland, which means that the majority of our students are actually from different states. Of course, we have Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey represented, but we also have a large contingency of students from California. So California makes up our 5th largest state population. So we do get a good amount of students from the West Coast. And I think that really adds to the very chill, very low-key vibe on campus. We are Division III in terms of sports. So we do have about 28% of our students doing some sort of athletics. And then 25% of our students do identify as Jewish, which I think puts us in the top 20% of all universities nationwide. And I'll definitely talk a little bit later about some of our offerings there. So 25 plus majors for you to engage with in Goucher. Our most popular major is psychology. It is our biggest department, and most of our students do something with psychology. Of course, you don't have to. Business management is our second most popular major. Of course, it's a popular major all around the US. And communications make up our third biggest major. But we have majors in all different kinds of disciplines, including the sciences. All of these majors that you see here can also be done as a minor, and we also have a few standalone minor programs as well. So if you're interested, for example, in pre-health, you can do that here. You'll do a major in biology or chemistry, and then you'll be put on the pre-health track. We do have a really great and new religion and justice major, for those of you who are interested in studying religion. It really looks at the intersectionality between social justice and religion. So I really think it's a great new major that's come up. You can do some Judaic courses through this minor, or you can just take a few classes like that. Most of our students end up doing more than just one major. We have students doing a double major, a major and a minor, major and a double minor. It really is up to you. We try to give the students as much liberty as possible in choosing what it is that they want to do with their Goucher education. So I think that's pretty great. One of the most fantastic things about Goucher, one of my favorite things, is that we are 100% study abroad. It is a requirement for you to study abroad during your time with us here at Goucher. Two ways to fulfill that requirement: you can do a full semester abroad, you can do a short-term 2 to 3 week program if you don't want to go for that full semester. So as long as you get to study in your country of your choosing, the most popular programs tend to be the United Kingdom and Australia because they speak English. But I would encourage, and I always encourage all students, choose a country that you don't know the language in. We do have a program in Israel if you're interested in doing that. We have a great program in South Africa, which examines social justice post-apartheid. So again, 100% study abroad, as it is a requirement to graduate. So if you are interested in study abroad, I think this is a great college for you. A little bit about student life. As I said, we are a residential campus, which means that we do expect students to live on campus for all 4 years. And we do have housing for campus on all 4 years for our students. So first and second years live in dorms, and all of our first year students, including our first year transfer students, live in what's called the first year village. 3 new buildings, all built with community in mind. Mary Fisher Dining Center has really, really good food options, different stations depending on what your interests are. We do have a station that's completely kosher. We do have halal stations. We do have allergen-free stations. If you have any allergen, we have a station specifically for food that's free of the 9 major allergens. And all of our food is clearly labeled so that you know what you're eating at any time. A little bit about Goucher Hillel. It's run by 2 full-time staff, including Rabbi Josh Schneider, who is a very good friend of mine, and a rabbinic intern. They do celebrate holidays, weekly Shabbat services, they do social events, and they do a lot of collaborations with nearby Hillels in Johns Hopkins and Towson and UMBC. So kind of one of the advantages of being in the city, we have all of these universities nearby, and we do, and the Goucher Hillel does really great work with these other universities. So definitely interested if you are interested in that. Last little bit about admission. So every student who is admitted is automatically considered for a merit scholarship. This is a scholarship that we give you. You don't have to apply for it. You don't have to opt into it. We will give it to you once you are admitted to Goucher. And you will keep your scholarship as long as you maintain a 2.0 GPA. And just a few deadlines to keep in mind. All of our applications go through the Common App. We are very liberal in terms of deadlines. So if you do need more time, please feel free to reach out to us and we will work with you as long as you are communicating to us. We are open for in-person tours Mondays and Fridays. So if you will find yourself in the Baltimore area, feel free to drop by. And that is my time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next presenter is Skidmore College. Is Skidmore College here? Okay, we may have lost Skidmore. There might be some technical difficulties going on. So with that, why don't we jump over to Northwestern University? And then if need be, we'll have to throw in Skidmore at the end.
Okay, thanks, Layla. I think we'll get started then. Everything looks good to me, and happy to jump in a little early on Northwestern. My name is Aaron Stofchak. I'm a Senior Associate Director of Admission at Northwestern, a place that I've called home for about 18 years now. I'm excited to share a little bit with you about Northwestern. I'm not alone though today. I'm joined by my colleague, Michael. Michael, if you want to introduce yourself real quick.
Sure thing. Thanks, Aaron. Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Simon. I'm the Executive Director of the Hillel at Northwestern. I'm finishing my 11th year here with lots of purple in my wardrobe, and I'm very excited to be here with Aaron.
Thanks, Michael. And you'll hear a little bit more from him in just a few minutes. I'll just get you started talking a little about Northwestern. And I think this is great because we're going to shift west a little bit from universities and colleges you've been learning about. And I'd like you to join me on the third coast of the United States in the great city of Chicago, because I think that's the first thing you want to understand about Northwestern is our location and also kind of what that location means to our students. So again, Northwestern is not a city school. In fact, we're located just north, you can see in the slide here, of the city of Chicago, of the downtown center. We're in the city of Evanston, which is the first suburb north of Chicago. But as a Northwestern student, we always like to say you get the best of three worlds. You're going to get a full residential campus, the city of Evanston, which is where you walk across the street for socializing, coffee, getting shopping, etc. And then you're 5 minutes from Chicago on public transportation that runs along the campus, or even a free shuttle bus provided by Northwestern. You're about 30 minutes on that public transportation from all those skyscrapers. And that's going to mean a lot to your Northwestern experience. But again, a campus that is bordered on the east side completely by water. So again, much like the ocean, and the west side by Evanston. So you've got kind of that setting of our campus. Now I want to get you familiar with our academic program. So Northwestern is unique in the sense that as an undergraduate student, you will choose one of 6 schools. You see them listed here. This is a kind of unique combination. When you choose one of those 6 schools, that'll be your home, but you'll have access to the other 5. You'll be able to actually combine programs across the different schools, and you can even change your mind. So again, you can enter one of these schools at the beginning, but you can finish in another location. Over a third of students fully switch schools. And now these are programs and majors that you're going to be excited about. The College of Arts and Sciences has all the STEM majors, the social sciences like economics, kind of humanities areas. We even have a strong Jewish and Israeli studies program in the college. Then, of course, the School of Engineering, 13 different engineering majors and an approach called whole brain engineering. So we like our engineers to be creative, not just math and science focused. Of course, leading programs in theater and film areas, as well as performance studies, communication studies, dance, and even science. And then, again, one of the top, if not the top, School of Journalism in the country in Medill, Chance to Tell Stories, School of Education and Social Policy, and a conservatory level School of Music. One of the exciting things about going to Northwestern is you're on a quarter system. That quarter system will give you many different opportunities to experience, have experiential learning, from research to international experiences to internships. So we have a program called the Chicago Field Studies. Wake up in your dorm, go on the train, get down to the city of Chicago, and participate in an internship at a leading company, a place like the Chicago Board of Trade, the Steppenwolf Theater, whatever you're interested in, we've got that already set up for you. And that leads to a lot of great outcomes when it comes to our graduates, which again, live all over the United States, all over the world, just like our students are. And again, when you think about the culture of Northwestern, I think one of the things I really love to talk about is this collaborative spirit. So whether it's on the sort of the pitch or the field or the court, as we're a Division I program, our women's lacrosse team is about to play for the national title in the top 4 right now. And we're excited about that. But of course, many cultural and identity groups, a big focus on social justice, and just, again, a great spirited place to be part of. And this is students who come from all 50 states, around 100 countries around the world, just in that undergraduate population. And so you're going to really get to know those students. And then lastly, again, a community that is unique, a campus that's, again, only about 20-minute walk from end to end, and allows you to live together in a residential campus environment and really get to know each other. Our community is important. First-year students can live with seniors, they can live with each other. You can have all of the kind of experiences you want as a residential student. You can also move off campus. But I think, again, this community that we have, and this is where I think it's great for an opportunity for me to hand it off to Michael, give him a chance to tell you a little bit more about his perspective on our community and our Jewish students and our Jewish life and our Hillel.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Since we're going a little bit toward the end, you've heard from some of my other amazing Hillel colleagues, and I won't kind of rehash the general. We are very fortunate to have a strong Jewish community here. Out of about 8,000 undergrads, we think about 1,200 or about 15% are Jewish. In any given year, Hillel will see at least 1,000 of those students at some point during the year. On a typical Shabbat, we'll have over 100 students at the Hillel space. There's also a Chabad space. Whether that's coming for services, we usually have two, a Reform and an Egalitarian Conservative service, and then we have a large communal dinner. We have a very large group of students who are involved in leadership in the Hillel. That's probably about 150 to 200 who are involved in some form, whether it's through the Hillel Exec Board, various committees, or student groups that we have. We have a staff of about 10 people working for Northwestern Hillel that includes a campus rabbi, social justice coordinator, and Israel fellow, and several others. We have a renovated space. So during the pandemic, we were very fortunate to be able to get our renovation done. And we're very excited that in the coming year, we're about to reopen. We've been slowly reopening and having safe in-person activities, and we're about, hopefully in the fall, to reopen much more fully. I know we're very short on time here, so I just want to mention a couple of things to connect with the broader campus community. As Aaron mentioned, Northwestern has amazing theater, amazing a cappella, and journalism school that's tops. Through Northwestern Hillel, students can connect their Judaism to those. We have a group called Jewish Theater Ensemble. We have the premier Jewish a cappella group, the only one too, called Shirenu. And we do a lot of partnership with Medill to bring in speakers who speak to both important journalism topics, but also connect to their Jewish experiences. Just in terms of Israel, because I know that's a topic very much on people's minds at this moment. As I mentioned, we have an Israel fellow. We have a couple of student groups that are involved in cultural or Israel advocacy activities. And just a few months ago, some of our students helped to put on what we called the Symposium on Anti-Semitism, Anti-Zionism, and Social Justice, which brought over 100 students online to an opportunity to try to delve deeper beyond just the black and white of the headlines into the complexities, which are what you would want to delve into when you're on a college campus. The last thing I'll mention, as actually Hillary mentioned at the beginning of this from her campus, if you're looking for something at Northwestern Hillel or in the Jewish community that you don't find, we have the resources and we have the expertise to help you make whatever you're looking for happen, to connect your Jewish identity to your broader campus and human identity, which is what the connection of Northwestern Hillel to Northwestern is all about. So with that, I want to leave time for questions and head it back to Aaron or back to the facilitator. Thank you so much for having us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Cedric Williams. I am one of the assistant directors here at Skidmore College. And today we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about Skidmore. I'm sure you guys are probably doing the college search right now and learning about other small liberal arts schools, but we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that make Skidmore College unique. I'm joined here by Sydney, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Sydney. I'm an incoming junior at Skidmore. I'm from Long Island, New York. In addition to working in admissions, I'm a member of Hillel. I was on the board last semester as the holiday coordinator. I'm also a member of Model United Nations and Model European Union. I have a radio show about New York State politics, and I am the chair of VoteMare, which is our nonpartisan Get Out the Vote committee at Skidmore.
Nice. Yeah, so just a little bit about Skidmore. I'm going to give you guys a brief overview of Skidmore. We are a small liberal arts school, around 2,500 students. Your average class size is about 16 students, 8-to-1 student faculty ratio. These are just numbers, but what does it actually mean for you? It means inside the classroom, you're honestly more than just another name, more than just another number. You kind of have an opportunity to really build some really close connections with your peers, as well as your professor, inside the classroom as well as outside the classroom. So our professors are going to have office hours, which are hours dedicated towards helping students, but you can also connect with professors outside of the office hours as well. We do not have any grad students, which is very important for you guys because you're not competing with grad students for any kind of internship or research opportunities. With that being said, you can do research as early as your first year here. Sydney, can you tell us a little bit about maybe one of those experiences that you've had with a professor outside of the classroom that stood out to you?
Sure. I think it's just like important to note that at Skidmore, I mean, the professors are almost like surrogate parents. You're going away from home and like these people are there for you. And I mean, you're learning with them, but they also can be like your pals. And so with that, in that, sense, I can just go to a professor and be like, hey, can I come argue about that? I don't get that. Like office hours are like a thing. I've been called a frequent flyer. That's a good thing. That's, not a bad thing. My advisor specifically, I was the chair of Vote I mentioned. I was doing this like Get Out the Vote campaign on social media. And I was like, hey, you have cute dogs. Skidmore loves dogs. Can I borrow you for the video? And he was like, oh yeah, sure. And so like he let me, basically just coach him and produce the video. It was super, super cool. And I think just what's even more emblematic of like the great professor-student relationship is that he was like, hey, Sydney, I'm going away with my wife. Can you babysit my dogs? He does not know that I don't have any dogs. And so that was, interesting. But I just think that's, that's just like how amazing I think the relationship is between professors and students. Which is funny.
So our motto academically is Creative Thought Matters. You can definitely see that in our curriculum as well as in the community as well. So when I ask people, some things that they heard about Skidmore, a lot of people will say it's an artsy school. Some people say it's a very sciencey school, and it is a little bit of both. It's a place where you can study the arts and sciences at a really high level without going to a conservatory or a specialized school. So that is definitely one of the benefits. I will meet students who are interested in theater, interested in dance, music, but they might also be interested in sciences, or they might be interested in business, which is one of our most popular majors. Skidmore is a place where you can kind of have all those things and really follow your passions. Rather than dropping passions, you can really pick up passions here and continue those passions, rather than just kind of putting yourself in a box and becoming this one kind of major. With that being said, most of our students do double major here. We have to make sense or go together. As long as you're passionate about the two areas, there's no reason why you can't study both. One of the other things that definitely stands out about us is our community here on campus. So one thing that definitely stands out, we do not have Greek life. Greek life isn't necessarily bad or good. It's just really what you're looking for and what you make of it. So rather than having a fraternity or sororities here, we have over 130 clubs and organizations that range from the knitting club to a Harry Potter themed club, along with the club quarter sports team, 6 a cappella groups, the outing club, which is our biggest club on campus. So a ton of different ways to get involved. One of my favorite stats about Skidmore, 2,500 students, over 130 clubs, and each year we have over 3,500 events. So there's always something to do on campus, and a very active campus, definitely. Very active, whether it's sporting events or the arts. It's really cool because some schools have a football team and everyone goes to the football game. First and foremost, we don't have a football team, but instead students will go to, the basketball game. But right before that, they may have just come from a theater performance or a dance performance. So they are very passionate about the different events, they're very supportive of one another, definitely. And then lastly, one of the things that definitely stands out about Skidmore, the town we're in. And if you actually look behind me, you can see like a picture of downtown Saratoga. In my opinion, it's an ideal place for a small liberal arts school. You kind of get the best of both worlds in terms of outdoors, but you also get like a little bit of city living as well. Not to say you're in New York City by any means, but you get a really good balance of the two. It's pretty cool because you can wake up, go hiking, trailing, skiing, snowboarding, whatever have you. And in the afternoon, you can go to Wasabi, which has all you can eat sushi, or you can go to the arts district. So it's a really good balance of those two areas, city and outdoors. Sydney, can you tell us a little bit about maybe one or two of your favorite things to do in Saratoga?
Oh, sure. I love to walk in Saratoga Springs. It's just beautiful. The ambiance, I think, is one thing that you just, can't get anywhere else. I like to call Saratoga Springs the perfect blend between like rural, urban, and suburban life because you can drive anywhere and walk anywhere, anywhere important at least. What else do I like to do? I like to just interact with the people. I like to, before the pandemic happened, go out with my friends for dinner, just enjoy all that Saratoga has to offer.
Great. And one thing that I know, one question that came up, can you tell us a little bit about the Hillel Club on campus?
Sure. So I'm a member of Hillel. I went to Reformed Jewish Day School growing up, and I wouldn't call myself super religious, but definitely when I go away from home, I always like to go back to my Judaism. It makes me feel like I am at home. And so that's what I was really looking for when I joined Hillel, my first year at Skidmore. Also the community, because there's something about like connecting with people of the same culture. You know, they understand, you know, some of the same values, some of the same, like, you know, quirks of our culture of, you know, being Jewish. And that was really helpful for me when I was acclimating to college life. And I still am a part of it now, going into my junior year of college. So my closest friends I met in Hillel.
Nice. What are some different events you guys have on campus, or some of your favorites in the club?
Sure. I think so. I was the holiday coordinator. I was planning a Purim masquerade ball, which was going to be super cool. The pandemic kind of messed that plan up, but that was going to be my favorite event. So for the high holidays, it was really nice. The synagogue in the area actually comes to Skidmore, to one of our auditoriums, and the rabbis actually host services there. So like on Yom Kippur, you can just come in, like you're hungry, but it's fine. You just walk a few feet, and you're there in temple. That was really nice for me, as you know, my first and second year here. What else do I love? Just, you know, the dinners every Friday night. I love the services. It's a good way to get to know people, but also just to, you know, connect, and it's great. And they're secular and, you know, religious events. There's no like you're too Jewish or you're not too Jewish. You know, if you self-identify as Jewish, like everyone is welcome, and there's a place for everyone, which is also, I think, really wonderful. That a diversity among the Jewish community is definitely there as well.
That's great. So we are a little bit pressed for time. I do have one last question for you, however. Can you just tell us what made you choose Skidmore? And then second, which I think is just as important, what made you stay at Skidmore?
Sure. So my mom actually went to Skidmore. And so that's why you should take it from me that you should go to Skidmore. Oh, there's my friend's dog. I'm actually, I like to call myself Skidmore averse because I didn't want to go where my mom went, but I got to Skidmore and it just felt good. And I always like, you know, I think that choosing a college is a gamble. And so with that, you have to just go with your gut. I was touring Skidmore when I had gotten in, and I visited a political philosophy class. The professor that day was talking about this theory that suggests that if a decision is right and pure, it'll feel good. If it's bad, it'll make you feel sick to your stomach. And I was like, this is a sign. And so I chose Skidmore. And so the gamble worked out for me, thank goodness. And I stayed at Skidmore because I love the community. I feel at home here. I love my professors. I love what I'm learning. I feel like I'm going to go out into the world and do good things with my education. And that's why I stuck around.
That is great. Well, thank you guys for listening to us and learn a little bit more about Skidmore. I definitely encourage you to explore us on our virtual opportunities. And if you are in the Saratoga area, definitely come by for visits, as we are open to visitors right now. But thank you guys, and thank you to Sydney as well for joining us. Big thank you. Have a good one.
Layla, you're muted.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Thank you for letting me know. I just wanted to jump in and say that for those who had come to hear from Skidmore, I apologize they were not able to stay through the end here. So that does give us, though, a little time to hear from our presenters a little bit more. If you would each bring your cameras back on. If we could do just a very quick round robin here, we have about 4 minutes. If you could each just answer the question, what advice would you give someone going through the college search? 30-second, elevator pitch style.
So if we're going,
I'm sorry, we'll start at the top with University of Delaware. Thanks.
Okay, I figured we'd do that. So yeah, my advice would be to do as much research as possible on all the schools that you're looking at. Reach out. So admissions counselors, we are here to connect with you. So reach out to us. And if you want to get the student's perspective, usually we can help get you connected. And if at all possible, go visit the schools. Even if it's just a drive through because of COVID, you really can just get a good sense and a vibe about what the feel of the school is like to help either rule it in for you or rule it out. But ask a lot of questions. Every question is a good question.
So I will say from the Jewish perspective, I think that oftentimes people come and students will come or their parents will come and just think about the academic side. And it's really important for you, especially 18, 19, however old you are coming into college, to figure out what are you looking for Jewishly. It's the first time in your lives where you get to be these independent Jewish adults. So thinking about what you want, and like Laura said, ask the Hillel. We're not going to lie to you about what Jewish life is like on campus. And reach out to the Hillel if you're coming for a tour. We will connect you, whichever school, whether it's one of these schools on this call or anywhere else, the Hillel will connect you with an upperclassman who's in your major, who can really answer the questions in a very honest way, and give you their perspective. But it is up to you, your college search. And so whatever is going to work best for you. But like Laura said, ask those questions because everyone wants you to be happy and successful wherever you end up.
From Private Atlantic University. Definitely one thing that I would suggest is, again, I think Laura mentioned this, but do research, and not only on, what the schools have to offer for your major academic interests, but also for how they're serving you to better your career once you graduate, how they're prepping you for that, and financial aid and those types of things as well, to make sure that you kind of have that well-rounded experience and are getting the things that you need to flourish once you do graduate. And definitely visit for sure. And there are a lot of virtual opportunities if you can't always make it to campus. So take advantage of that for sure.
Hey everyone, my advice would be to really do connect with the students, as was mentioned by Hillary. For Hunter specifically, there's an option for you to chat with students at any time. There's a thing called Unibuddy. So if you go to our website, which I'm going to put in the chat now, if you go to our website, there's literally a little box that says chat with students, and it takes you to our current students. There's students from different majors, different backgrounds, different hometowns, different states, countries. So sort of a good sample of our population at Hunter. And they're just students. They are doing the thing that you want to be doing a year from now. So ask them, how do they like commute from the residence hall to the main campus? How do they like the food options, the kosher food options available? What the Shabbat dinners are like? Ask them questions. All that is really their firsthand experience, and that's what's going to sort of shape your experience and how you will be on campus too. So I would say my advice is definitely connect with students.
Yeah, and just kind of echoing off of that, I always like telling students, there's no such thing as a stupid question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Please ask all of the questions. That's why we're here. We're here to answer all of your questions. And I always like telling students to over communicate, send us emails. Let us know where your head is at. Let us know what you're thinking about in terms of a process. And it's okay if we're not a good fit for you. And I always tell students that, like, as much as I want you to come to Goucher and be a student here on campus and be a gopher and all that, it may not be a good fit. And if that's the case, then hey, best of luck to you, but at least you found that out. So again, over communicate, ask all these questions that are in your head, and just let us know where you're at so we can help and work with you as much as we can.
I guess that makes, I think, us next. I think most of the things have been said. Great advice so far. Again, my main piece of advice is also be yourself, be who you are, and kind of follow this process kind of from that angle. I think this is a personal and intimate process applying for colleges, but you can make it enjoyable and fun if you think of it as a kind of a self-analysis, a chance to kind of think about who you are right now at this moment, who you might not recognize in 4 years. But this is the moment to kind of do that and be yourself. I know Michael had some advice as well about connecting with students on campus.
Yeah, I would just add, Hillel, we are not part of admissions, but we feel so much partners of admissions, and we, especially folks like, me who've been around for a while, we understand how challenging this process is for students and for their families. And we really encourage you, I'll speak on behalf of my other colleagues from the Hillels, really reach out to us if you're interested. At our school right now, our Hillel is open. So if you come to Northwestern or this area, you can come visit us while you're on campus. And as others have said, we're fortunate. We have connections to students in pretty much every part of the campus, every field, every activity, not just in Jewish life. So if you're interested in Jewish life and anything else, reach out to your Hillel, whether it's Northwestern or any of these other fantastic schools to find out more. And we're really here to try to help you in this process.
Okay, fantastic. I do think there was a request in the chat to share the contact information from Florida, so you may have seen that already. Thank you so much, everyone, for spending the afternoon with us. When this presentation ends, there'll be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd love any feedback that you can share. Please sign up for more sessions and know that the session, as well as others, will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/Jewish Student Fair. And with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And again, thank you so much to all of our presenters.